Mr. Baldoni and Ms. Lively were filming a slow dance scene for a montage in which no sound was recorded. Mr. Baldoni chose to let the camera roll and have them perform the scene, but did not act in character as Ryle. Instead, he spoke to Ms. Lively out of character as himself.
Everyone's buzzing about one thing. Snow White vanished from Regal Cinemas, and Rachel Zegler's name is splashed across the drama. People are labeling it a crushing embarrassment for the star who once seemed destined to dominate Hollywood. Allegedly, the moment those box office figures crashed hard, the entire industry gasped. The hit was swift. Critics say that when a major theater chain drops your film, it spells trouble far beyond a simple,
I know for a fact that the mainstream media will lie and they will smear on behalf of their powerful friend. I believe in due process, which is why I always read the facts of the case before accepting the media narrative.
Shitty product with atrocious marketing. You have yourself a disastrous brand that will go out of business.
And that really they're bored and rich. Another circumstance that made me see right through Ryan Reynolds and the kind of person that he is when, despite being friends with Joe Alwyn, who dated Taylor Swift for 5 years, she's best friends with Blake Lively.
Rachel Zegler, the emerging talent who some claim rose too fast, is at the heart of the storm. She's faced gossip, backlash, and alleged proof that seems to pin this failure on her. While many thought Snow White was a bulletproof Disney classic, everything shifted the instant word of terrible ticket sales reached the spotlight.
From Armie Hammer, who got fired from Gossip Girl because he said during a dinner that she was a bitch, regarding Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, when I just recognize that they are up on their high horses and that they potentially treat people very bad.
On Blake Lively's claims that she was allegedly harassed by this guy when they shot the movie, It Ends With Us, a film about domestic violence. And was Justin didn't harass Blake. Blake was interested in wresting control of this movie away from Justin, who was the director and the producer. She was just an actress in it.
They were plotting with the New York Times for months to smear him, and there may be some important evidence.
And the fallout, they say, has only just begun. But there's a sharper sting here. Regal Cinemas didn't just quietly pull the film, they removed it in a blaze that's leaving Rachel's fans in utter shock. Whispers hint her so-called star. Appeal may have faded under the weight of ceaseless online attacks.
They shared those together. They concocted a complaint that they filed with the Civil Rights Division. They omitted texts that would have provided context.
But they believed her narrative instantly because the allegations were so strong. And I just kind of held fire because I don't trust the New York Times to save my life.
The kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, documents, which prove exactly what she did to take over the movie.
And now, because the gossip mill is relentless, people are pointing fingers at Rachel, at Disney, at shifting viewer preferences. Everyone craves a culprit. They want someone to blame for a disaster nobody foresaw. Is Rachel Zegler the symbol of a new era of Disney blunders? Or is she just a young actress trapped in a mess woven by promotional errors? According to the rampant rumors, the blame game is only heating up daily.
Okay, and that's largely due to the fact that she is a modern feminist, and so she has to create struggle where there just isn't any. Okay, well, she filed a civil rights complaint in Los Angeles, and then within 24 hours, the New York Times had the scoop. They published the complaint in its entirety, and it looked suspicious.
I have no idea on what grounds these two are going to attempt to dismiss his lawsuit. I could understand some possible arguments that her publicist might make and fail, because I told you, he's got evidence.
First, let's clarify. If you trust the buzz, Regal Cinemas has outright axed Snow White from its lineup, stating sales were so poor it wasn't worth keeping in theaters. Folks are losing it, calling it the boldest move in recent cinema history. It's rare to see a major chain ditch a classic remake so suddenly, especially one with Disney's backing.
Another bombshell, and this time it is pertaining to the New York Times. Amazing that you're not going to believe this, okay? It looks like Justin Baldoni may have a very strong case against the New York Times.
There's just so much more to this story, and the media's already like self-flagellating. Oh, we were too mean to Blake. And now you see text messages from Blake Lively comparing herself. She's the mother of dragons in Game of Thrones, that she too has her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift.
But the tale gets more intense. Some say Regal saw it was hemorrhaging cash quickly and didn't want to prolong the shame. Allegedly, they cut losses and moved on, leaving the whole cast and crew stunned. The online frenzy has been wild. People are sharing screenshot after screenshot of Regal's showtimes vanishing overnight. They're dubbing it the final blow to Rachel Zegler's so-called glow. Industry insiders murmur about behind-the-scenes friction.
If you look at that URL, look at the date on that. 12/16/2000. Ryan and Blake and two other of her friends all staged a mass unfollowing of Joe Alwyn like they were 13 years old. Okay, Ryan, you're 48 years old. Grow up.
That the publicist was planting stories about him. He's got receipts. His lawyer was just responding publicly to what she initiated. Literally moments ago, Baldoni's attorney...
Hey, Lily, you want to do the honors?
No, you go ahead. I need to take it in from here.
All right, you guys, it is Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni Day. Finally, to all of the women out there that are watching, no matter what you do in life, you never, ever, ever go full Amber Heard.
Executives are rumored to have held crisis talks to decide if yanking Snow White could save a few bucks. No official comment offered a clear reason, but fans are convinced the cause is obvious. Attendance was dreadful, the reviews were catastrophic, and the negativity buried any shot at recovery. At the center of this chaos stands a muted Rachel Zegler. She was once celebrated as a vibrant new talent, but many claim she pushed away potential viewers with careless remarks in interviews. Some observers insist she was too blunt, while others say that barely mattered. Either way, the sudden removal feels like a massive humiliation, especially for someone who rode high on early acclaim. People adore a great success story, but they relish a dramatic downfall even more, and this seems to be it. Nobody expected Disney's Snow White to flop so badly. A reboot of a cherished fairy tale? Normally, that's a cash machine. Instead, the stats reportedly painted a grim picture of half-empty seats, bored audiences, and brutal word-of-mouth bashing. Some fans said the movie's opening weekend was so lackluster it sent tremors through the whole production crew. Rumor has it Disney staff were floored by the daily numbers pouring in. How did this bomb happen? Critics highlight the fierce online backlash Rachel Zegler sparked. She gave interviews that irked fans, remarks seen as flippant about the original. Classic. Others think the promotion was off target. The plot, some say, too preachy. Another group blames a possible flood of live-action remakes. But whatever angle you choose, the cash just didn't arrive. People allegedly left theaters unimpressed. Parents opted to wait for streaming. Teens found it awkward. All these tiny factors piled up into a massive flop for Rachel. The embarrassment can't be overstated. She was pitched as the radiant star, the face of a modern Disney princess. When sales tank, the star often takes the hit, even if it's unjust. Hollywood's cutthroat like that. By the second weekend, the film's theater run seemed finished, and if whispers are true, Regal Cinemas saw a losing fight and took drastic action. It's a mortifying moment for Disney's brand, but an even larger question mark looms over. Rachel's future. Check any social media platform and you'll see the flood of posts mocking the whole project. Memes swing from vicious jabs at the storyline to sharp digs at Rachel Zegler's every word. Some fans are playful about it, others are outright cruel. TikTok feeds are packed with brief clips mimicking movie scenes, layering them with text. That brands it a total disaster. X is alight with threads picking apart every perceived mistake by the star. People spotlight interviews where Rachel allegedly shaded the original material in ways that longtime Disney devotees found offensive. Suddenly, posts claiming she's cocky are everywhere. Fans who once cheered her West Side Story win have grown skeptical. They're calling her the example of how not to steward a Disney legacy. Then there are observers who can't fathom the meltdown hit such peaks. They find it stunning that a project with Disney's seal could crash so spectacularly. Sympathetics. Voices exist, but they're drowned out by the venom. Most comments paint Rachel as someone facing the fallout of her own hubris. Others insist it's purely the studio's fault, but the overall vibe is blazing. Everyone wants to chime in. Everyone wants that viral post. For Rachel, it's a non-stop barrage of scorn and sarcasm. Don't be fooled by the glitzy veneer behind. Hollywood's velvet ropes. Insiders are gossiping non-stop about this Snow White catastrophe. Executives from rival studios are said to be smirking at Disney's misstep. They view it as a warning about tampering with timeless tales. Some unnamed big shot producers are quoted saying, "We warned them not to bet too much on a vocal newcomer." The shade is palpable, and it's feeding theories that some industry players wanted Rachel to fail all along. Word is even top. Directors are quietly noting they avoided trouble by not casting Rachel in other gigs. Those might just be vicious rumors, but that's the climate in Tinseltown right now. Ruthless, brutal, and critical. Agents and PR teams are reportedly racing to distance their clients from anything that might link them too closely to this explosive event. Meanwhile, a few opportunists aim to cash in on the chaos, planning reaction videos or angling for exclusive interviews to break down the meltdown. Rachel's allies in the industry, if she has them, must feel trapped. There's little they can do to defend her when every major outlet is obsessed with the awful box office. They watch the starlet swirl in controversy, unsure if backing her is worth the gamble. Hollywood is about alliances, and right now, siding with a tarnished name is too risky for many. This mess has clearly created winners, those who savor Disney's stumble, and losers, namely Rachel, who's said to be taking the brunt of the blame. The press has had a blast, turning this into the scandal of the season. Tabloids are pumping out headlines branding the removal a national shame for Disney and Rachel Zegler's career on the edge. Even more credible outlets are piling on, offering analyses on how Snow White marked a pivotal shift for modern remakes. Sensational terms keep surfacing: overconfidence, cultural disconnect, unforgivable flop. It's a frenzy of condemnation. Some reporters stress the film's production costs, claiming it'll never recover its budget at the box office. Others zoom in on rumored creative clashes behind the scenes, with whispers that Rachel sparred with directors or that Disney pushed last-minute script tweaks. None of it is confirmed publicly, but that's never stopped the press from guessing. The negative coverage just keeps mounting, making it nearly impossible for Rachel or the film to find redemption. The spin is always more dramatic than the truth. That's how tabloids thrive. If any official word from the studio tries to ease the blow, the press twists foreheads it into a shocking angle. They highlight a single line that suggests the film was troubled, stirring an even bigger fuss. For Rachel, each news story feels like another anchor pulling her down. It's as if the media collectively decided she's the main villain, true or not. That's the narrative they're pushing. Rumor has it Rachel Zegler is in distress over the fiasco. Insiders say she's venting in anger, livid at being singled out for could collapse so completely. One thing's certain, the Snow White meltdown taught us that no star or brand is untouchable when the audience and the box office decide otherwise. Keep your eyes peeled, because in a place as unpredictable as Hollywood, the next chapter could be even more shocking.